You know, sometimes you wonder if anybody really cares, and then you see something like Bottom Boy stop watching a one-eyed AJ Hawk for this stream, and you realize you must be pretty important. If you guys don't watch the Pat McAfee show, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. What's up, Brett? K-Flow's in here, Hippie Man's in here, I'm gonna miss it. Uh-oh. All this Great One grinding disgusts me. Well, mayhaps I should I? Yeah, I'll spoil a little bit of upcoming content. We may have gotten the thing that we've been looking for, and therefore, going for Great Ones may be something we start to do a little bit. A Flinter stream from the deer stand. Hopefully I don't distract you too much. I hear the neighbor's dog barking because the mailman's out there, and Shadow might bark, so if anybody has earbuds, just a heads up. Did you go hunting today? I didn't. I'm going to Indiana, the state, later this week for their firearms opener, and I got to prep content for that. So I think, basically I stayed up, I don't know, till 2 a.m. or something last night, got up pretty early this morning, been making videos basically nonstop, and I have 4 more to do, and I've got until like Wednesday night, so if I get another one recorded tonight, maybe I can get up tomorrow morning and hunt, and we'll see where we're at from there. We're pretty much out of time in archery, which sucks. Like, it went by so fast this year. And I didn't even hunt out of state like during our archery season. Typically, like the last couple years, okay, I've gone to West Virginia, Tennessee. This year just flew by. I don't know what I was expecting from your description, but the story was so much worse. I cringed. Dude, it made me feel pain. Wishing for all the 12 luck this week. Could definitely use it. I appreciate that. Have you ever shot a muley in real life? I have not. I'm trying to think. Have I seen a live mule deer? Yeah, I have. Never while hunting, never actually hunted for mule deer. I'd like to, that's kind of on the list. I've been kind of accruing preference points in Wyoming. And it's 4 down the road, like we're getting married in Colorado next year, that's going to be a whole thing, so probably at best I'm looking at 2025 for when I might get out there for a hunt. My plan, and I've been talking about this for years, and a lot of you guys are probably sitting there like, yeah, okay, you keep saying this. My plan is, hopefully 2025 pronghorn. If I have the additional time, maybe I can set aside 2 weeks for that trip, do some scouting for mule deer. 2026, mule deer. If I have additional time during that trip, do some scouting for elk. 2027 elk. I know I'm like looking way down the road for stuff like that, but I think it's a good system. It allows me to do like kind of 1 extra hunt per year without overcommitting to doing 12 different things and, you know, not being able to maximize our opportunities. I don't know if that was a melanistic or not. What up, Mr. Schrader? Got a Great One fallow. Nice. Sky is on Twitch. What's going on, Skies? Now I know who you are. Got the first deer this weekend. Love the reaction on the Discord, especially to the dressing part. Trying to think. I remember this, and for some reason in my head, I'm just not being able to picture the specific deer. What's up, Wyatt? 2,600 kills into my muley non-tip grind in class. Oh my god, 2,600 kills and you haven't had a non-tip muley? That sounds like really unfortunate luck. Non-tips are funny though. Like, sometimes I feel like they come in waves in Classic. I mean, literally back-to-back stream. I'm not trying to like brag or anything. I'm trying to, this probably doesn't instill hope, but back-to-back streams, a week apart, we killed 350 plus non-tip mule deer, and I've never had anything like that before those streams or since. So what I'm saying is, hopefully if you get one, don't just quit, keep on hunting, you might find more. What's up, the Hunter? I don't know if you remember me, it's been a while. I do indeed. As a non-res of the West, you have to view it in the long term like that. Even over-the-counter tags take so much dang prep. Yeah, like, I think it's just, you know, pronghorn are a high success rate hunt. If I can get out there, and like I said, I'd like to set aside a couple of weeks to really give myself a chance. I think maybe the ideal would be, I have to really figure this out because different units, the rifle season starts different time of year. I'd like to have a unit where the rifle starts early. Maybe I could go out the week before PA's archery starts, so I'm not missing hunting here. During Wyoming pronghorn archery. And then the second week of the trip could be pronghorn rifle if I can't get it done with a bow. hopefully I can get one with a gun, right? Like, if I'm going for this big trip and everything, I'd like to get one. So that's how I'd like to approach it, but, you know, the logistics of everything, that doesn't make it easier. Is New England worth it? I mean, honestly, you can play any map you don't own in multiplayer. I probably wouldn't buy the map. I would just play it in multiplayer if it's not something you're really interested in hunting. What have I missed, and how's your day going? You haven't missed too much. We just killed 2 bull moose and what looked like a really dark brown bear, but it was a red-brown, so not dark at all. Day's going good. Getting content prepped for hunting out of state here this weekend, which is, every time I say it, like I was watching a, I don't even remember what, something about football-related things from yesterday. And he was talking about we're getting further into the season. He said 10 days away from Thanksgiving, and I almost I felt like I about fainted. It does not feel like we should be 10 days away from Thanksgiving. So everything's moving fast. That definitely kind of stresses me out, but I guess on the other side of that, some of the best hunting of the year right around the corner. How's hunting season been? Man, it ain't been my year. It's my brother's year for sure. He's killed 2 does and a pretty decent PA buck. Got them all on film. Those videos will be out in the coming days and weeks and all that. I got a doe with my muzzleloader. I figured out the date already. October 18th, something like that. Haven't been to full draw with my bow. Just no, unfortunately, no opportunities. It seems like, and I've noticed this kind of becoming a trend in the last couple years. I'm really good at picking the wrong spot to hunt. Which is funny because when I was younger, I could just, like, my dad would be like, hey, go hunt over there. And I would just go wander through the woods, pick a tree, sit down. The amount of times I killed a deer doing that, and having no idea where I was going, what I was doing, it was stupid. And now I just can't seem to pick the right spot. It's been rough so far this year, but, you know, the thing about it is, it really is like a battle of attrition. Most times the deer are going to win. So, you got 2 options when it's been a rough year. You can start to, you know, hang it up, skip a couple of mornings, which to be fair, I have done that. Or you can keep going, keep toughing it out. For the most part, you stay persistent, it does pay off. You are correct about that. There is not going to be a map this year for Call of the Wild, or at least this winter. There's been a map already this year. It's a surprise to me. I don't know exactly when we should expect a map then, but I don't know. Going all the way back to 2018, we've had 2 new maps every single year, and I guess you could count 2017 because that was the release of the game. 2 maps plus Medved. So it's definitely a little bit different, and I'm not sure exactly where they're planning to go with releases. Hopefully, though, they're going to have something else in the works. Maybe, I mean, we know there's some sort of dog coming out here soon. Maybe there's going to be, I don't even know, more Truax added over on Berhunga. That could definitely be a thing. I gotta imagine there's something, like some sort of big update, even though they're not doing a map. Do you want family property, public land, or lease? So, my dad has like about 120 acres that we primarily hunt. I've got 14 acres here. That's where I shot that big non-typical in 2021. And then, I guess like this Indiana hunt that I'm going on here in, whatever, 5 days. That is going to be public. Actually, it's going to be both public land and, like, they have a hunting camp up there somewhere, I think, something like that. And so we're going to be there on public land, and then I'm pretty sure the last day or so, I guess unless we've already killed our bucks, we're going to go back and hunt, like, around his house. Hope they do more backfill? So there were rumors about that. I remembered, and that was such a weird thing, like, there were rumors about no map, too, long before there was an announcement that there was no map, so I kind of think somebody knew something, and I don't know where the information, like, stemmed from, but it makes me a little bit, like, hopeful that there will be backfilling, because, again, there were rumors of that, too. What's up, Shep? How's hunting season going so far? Not exactly been my year, but like I was just saying earlier, it really only does take one hunt. Like, 2021, I had a terrible year. I killed a doe on the first day of archery. Could not get anything to happen. I went down to West Virginia. All things went wrong in a matter of about 15 minutes there. I had turkeys behind me. Coyotes spooked them. Buck came in. Camera died. Buck caught me trying to call the turkeys back. Like, it was a mess. And then, instead of giving up, kept on hunting, and that big 180 showed up. Like it. So as much as this feels like it's just a season that just... there's no winning. Just takes one. New rares? Have they ever done that? It'd be interesting. I'm trying to think back. Like, other than... albino grizzly. But I don't think they added albino grizzly, like, as a new rare. I think they weren't spawning correctly. And that once happened with melanistic, red deer as well. So, other than things like that, I don't know that they've ever added new rares, but maybe that'd be possible. Give me, crowned male blue wildebeest, please. Maybe backfilling new dog, and maybe new species backfill like snow geese to Yukon or Medved. New species backfill is what I would really love. Like, if they're... so, like, go back to, December last year, New England Mountains release. That came along with, weapon customization. There was some other, like, oh, all the backfilling last year, too. And I think there's one other kind of major-ish aspect to that update. And the whole thing was like, okay, well, we didn't get a brand new map with all new species and stuff, but they did add this feature of, you know, being able to customize your guns, and people have wanted that for a long time. So to me, like, if they're not designing a new map, and even though New England didn't really have new species, they did have to make a whole new map. Maybe there is hope for, like, I don't know, doll sheep on Yukon, or like you said, snow geese on these maps. That's something I'm kind of holding out hope for. I wouldn't say that I'm gonna, like, bank on it, but it'd be nice. ATV customization. I mean, we can do tents and ground blinds, right? Hope they had a big patch for multiplayer, because that's really broken. I just have issues disconnecting and stuff, and with hackers, and that's always something you run into here and there, but... failure to synchronize all that, that certainly needs solved. Medved muskox, there you go. Character customization. I don't know if I'm crazy, but I thought that was something they had said they planned to add at some point, and we're gonna be 7 years here since release in about 3 months, and we still have like 4 characters to choose from, I guess, plus Remy Warren. Definitely could use some customization, and without trophy shots and such, I don't know how much customization matters, and maybe that's their perspective too. But it would just be nice to, you know, have more clothing options, have more options for what your character looks like. They've done these things in the Angler. The Angler has a form of trophy shots, I guess you could call it. But why not do something like that in Call of the Wild? We need mustaches or moustaches, you could say. That was a bull, right? A small bull. We'll let him go for now. Tips for way the hunter I'm struggling starting out. Is that one that we hit? It takes some time to kind of like understand how the game works and stuff. I would say, like, be willing to experiment. Like, maybe you'll shoot something that would be a future 5-star, but at least you can learn from those sorts of things. And honestly, like, look for things like 1-star matures and those sorts of potential weak genetic animals to take out of your herds. That'll help to improve your herd genetics. Trophy shots would be awesome. You know, I recorded a classic video here. I'm not even sure when it's gonna come out, because I do this like every year. Like, normally there's a opener of PA rifle video, and I'll do a rifle hunting classic. I did one for this Indiana hunt I'm going on, and I just, because I have to prep all this content, I'm not sure when it's gonna come out. I don't know why I'm explaining this. It's not relevant. But I took what I think was a really nice trophy shot for what's going to be the thumbnail, and it just, I was thinking about that, like, you know, wish I could do this in Call of the Wild. It would be nice. I want my camera photos saved on console, so I don't know, like, how that works with consoles and stuff, like, how games are allowed to access storage of that kind. I assume it's probably something that should be allowable, but yeah, the in-game camera in Call of the Wild on console is basically for missions. More multi-mounts. Yeah, that too. If we're not getting a whole new map design, certainly they could take a look at some of them. I get how the game works with 5 stars and stuff, but I can't find animals, and I can't find them once I hit them. Good shots, but I can't track them. I don't remember exactly where the setting is, but for tracking, there's like a colorblind mode, maybe under accessibility settings or something. That can help. What I would do if I were you, if you're really struggling to find animals and stuff, I'd lower your difficulty, go down to Explorer, whatever the lowest difficulty is. If you get to the point where you feel like you're finding a lot of stuff and it's too easy, you can always turn that difficulty back up. As far as finding animals, I was kind of the same way. It's a lot of, again, sort of trial and error. Go through, you know, during the drink times of different animals, check a bunch of lakes. Anytime you're near a lake, use the hunter sense, identify those drink zones. That way you can check back in on those later. Filling your map up with zones can be really nice. There's also, and it's in the Way the Hunter Discord. I think they call it the Way the Hunter Toolbox. It's something I need to use and take advantage of, I just don't. It kind of allows you to go in and like leave notes about certain zones and stuff. It also tells you where all the zone locations for like literally every herd on your map is going to be. Hey, Mel. Got 3 diamond moose in 15 minutes after setting up a Medved-Taiga grind. Sounds like you're off to a good start. I haven't had 3 diamond moose in 15 weeks. Changing the blood color to purple there for the Way the Hunter blood trailing strugs. Give that a try. Ooh. Looks like we were a little close to be fast traveling. Things were kind of rendered in. Haven't seen a bull though. I told you about the toolbox, it was me. Well, I knew it existed, but I didn't know anything of what it did, so yes. What county are you hunting in Indiana? I actually don't know. All I know is I'm driving, it's not, like where I'm going to is not terribly far from Indianapolis. I'm going to meet Aaron there, and then it's like a 2-hour drive to their hunting camp or wherever we're staying. I know it sounds like I don't have a clue what's going on. I kind of do, but I'm also kind of just like, not going to ask too many questions. What's your favorite Great One Moose fur? In a vacuum, it's oak, because I love the whole concept. Like, the naming concept of Great One Moose furs I thought was awesome. You have ashen, you have oak, you have spruce. There's one more tree one. My brain is just not... It's fine. You get the point. They're named after trees. I think that's a really cool naming concept. And oak is my favorite one. I feel like it fits moose really well. In terms of the actual look, though, speckled or two-tone, I think, is by far the best looking. So, do you still have the albino diamond moose from 5 years ago? I mean, the video and screenshots exist. The animal in my trophy lodge, for instance? No, the trophy lodge just didn't exist back then, sadly. Favorite gun? I mean, as of now, it's the 44 lever action. I know it's kind of recency bias, but the thing is so much fun to shoot. It's absurdly powerful. It's got like a satisfying, like, we'll take the scope off here. It's got a satisfying, like, lever working. You've got the reload animation. It's a fast-firing weapon, and it's effective, which is really useful. Where else do we gotta go? This place hasn't been producing. Honestly, nothing up here has been producing for a little bit. I guess we should swing down here. Favorite map? Layton Lakes. There's a chance we could end up back on Layton with this grind, too. It's a tough call here. Those wolves sound close. You guys probably remember for a little bit there, and I do mean a little bit. We sort of tried to swap our grind to Medved-Taiga Coast, and it seemed like it was going to be really effective. The problem I had is, there's so much water in the south, it's just impossible to cover all that. So I just decided, like, I'm better off on one of these maps where I can get to most of the drink zone locations. Medved, I think I find a few more moose per run, let's say. So we're gonna roll with Medved for now, but who knows where we actually end up going with this. We might go back to Layton. We might, maybe we will end up on Rev-and-Tule again. Could even do Yukon, which, that would be interesting. Wish the 4570 was actually half decent like Classic. Yeah, I like Classic's interpretation of a 4570. How long did you drive to Indiana? Well, I know I drove to Indianapolis for the ATA show last year in January. That was something like 8.5 hours. So, I think he's on my side of Indiana. So maybe a little under 8, 7.5. Was just bow hunting down on Patoka Lake in southern Indiana. Didn't get a big buck, but saw a bunch driving. Good luck. I will definitely accept said luck. And hey, that's good news. Seeing big bucks is honestly, to this point, that's even more than I've accomplished mostly this year. Double the tends to be effective on Rev. I think, like, if you got lucky with how your spawns, like when you start your grind, I think if you got lucky and maybe you have, like, a bunch of level 2s or something in the south, you're probably set. I don't think I have that. When I hunt raccoon dogs and stuff, I see a bunch of big moose, and it's just kind of like, well, I'm not grinding down there, so I guess I'm stuck. Jared, thank you for the 40 months, closing in on 4 years. That would be 4 12s. Welcome back, man. I appreciate you. What is the best bow brand in your opinion? I'm going to sound like I'm dodging the question. And I guess that's possibly true because I don't really have an opinion on the best bow brand. My personal opinion is that, honestly, any decent bow that you get in 2023 is going to be more than enough. I mean, so long as you're not buying from, like, you know, some shady, never heard of this brand type thing before. Bow technology in this day and age is just that good. I mean, everybody's generally kind of doing the same thing in terms of, like, bow manufacturers and stuff. So I really think whether it's a top of the line, I don't know, $2,000, does Matthew still have bows that go over 2,000? I think they did at a time. Whether it's that, or whether it's, I mean, we were sponsored by Obsession a couple years ago, their bows were around $1,000. We're sponsored by Darton, we were last year and we are again this year. Their bows are right in that $1,000 range. I've been shooting basically budget bows now for 4 years, and I had a top of the line Hoyt prior to that. My personal opinion, are there slight differences? Yes. Are there slight advantages to the more expensive bow? Yes. Were there things I liked less about the more expensive bow? Also yes. You gotta pick a bow that fits you. I find that, like, for me, longer axle to axle, I shoot better, I shoot more consistently, I can shoot more accurately at longer distances. It's so individual to the hunter. No bow can make up for a bad shooter and lack of practice, no matter how much you spend on it. And that's, I mean, I don't know if Hunter Man's here today. He's been talking for a couple of weeks now. His dad shoots like a 40-year-old bow, and he's just dialed with it. Like, does the extra speed, the extra feet per second, a little bit quieter on some of the newer bows, does it help? Yeah, in some situations. But at the end of the day, it's practice, it's putting in the time, and it's working to improve. I say as I made a bad shot this year. Dude, we all do, though. It just happens. Are you grinding? I guess you could say that. I feel like it's almost casual grinding. Like, I'm really... Not that I'm not taking it seriously, but, you know, we're running from lake to lake. I'm not fast traveling. I'm not, like, super speed. Trying to, as soon as I shoot, fast travel to the next spot or anything like that. I guess we're attempting to get into grinding with this a little bit more. We'll see where we go.
Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Just here so I don't get grind. Thanks, Marshawn. Have you ever been hunting red deer in real life? I have not. I don't think I've ever seen a red deer. New bows probably give you more room for error, but yeah, if you suck, it doesn't matter how expensive it is. That's definitely something. And, like, again, the longer axle-to-axle bows that I typically shoot, or that I like to shoot anyway, one of the reasons is because they are a little bit more forgiving. If you're, you know, if your form's not perfect, if you're, you know, maybe just torquing a little bit or anything like that. That more stable, like, I don't know how to describe that, the more stable structure of the whole process. Hopefully those of you that have at least shot bows know what I'm talking about. I think somebody that's never shot a bow is like, what are you talking about? It does. It helps you out. Like, your groups, especially at long range, are going to improve even with, like, subpar form and stuff. One more bad one away from becoming a crossbow hunter. There's nothing wrong with that, though. I feel like there's such a stigma around crossbow hunting and stuff. I really think it's about getting out that time of year and enjoying the woods. Like, I don't really care what anybody uses. I considered, for this time of year, actually, getting a crossbow. Because what I wanted to do was do a little bit of, like, wandering hunting. Like, almost still hunting with a bow. You can do that with a compound, but you can't very effectively self-film and also be walking around with a bow. So I thought about getting a crossbow for that. Not sure if that's going to end up being something I do, but it was on the mind. What gun are you using in game right now? This is the 300 Canning Magnum from the Yukon Valley DLC. The camo is the Medved Premium Wrap. That's from the newest cosmetic pack. Thoughts on waiting for a new map instead of December release? Thoughts on what you mean? Don't know how many times I've seen the moves video where you get the super rare albino, but it's a lot. I feel like I cringe at it because my voice and stuff back then was so much different, but I do like to go back and watch it every now and then. There's few times in the, what are we at here? 6,673 hours in Call of the Wild over like 7 years. There's been few times where that type of feeling happens. Reels, thank you for the 33 months. Welcome back. Saw a pig hunting video with them using an air rifle shooting arrows. What do you think about those IRL and in game? Thought it was pretty cool, or a pretty cool combo. It's kind of been something I've wanted in game for a little while. I've seen those things as well. Certain states allow them. I was looking at the regulations for Indiana here yesterday, and they allow, I think they call them air bows, so long as they meet certain specifications. I don't know that I would use one. I'm not sure. I don't know, like, what purpose I would want it for, if that makes sense. I don't mind if anybody does. Like, I'm just thinking through. If I want to shoot something at bow ranges, 30 yards, maybe 40 yards, I'll just use a bow. If I want to shoot something farther than that, like what you can do with those air bows, I'd probably just use a regular gun. Are we getting Taco Bell tonight right after grocery shopping? We're getting whatever you want to get. We're getting a dog instead of a new map, so what are your thoughts on that? Okay, I thought that's where you were going, but I didn't quite understand the way you asked it. I thought maybe you meant something else. No. A big male. Huh. Actually got it. Anyway, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of that. Like, 6th year running, or for 5 years running, I think this would have been the 6th year. We've had 2 maps every single year, summer and winter. So to break that pattern, and I think to not kind of give a warning, I guess there's a 3-week warning. That kind of sucks. I mean, we've been anticipating really since I feel like it was on release day for Emerald Coast. And this happens every time. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. But I remember there being a question like, well, what do you think the next map's going to be? And it's like, you know, it's always that cycle. We get a new map, but what's the next one? And there was an expectation it would be in December, because it always basically is. My hope is that we're getting more than just dogs. Whether it's a couple of maybe new species being backfilled, maybe it's backfilling of existing species onto other maps, maybe some true racks. Like, we definitely need more than just dogs, but I don't know. I guess I gotta see what they have planned before I can have an opinion on it. I like how K-Flow and David just Same exact time, one after another. 12-pack tacos. What do I even get? It's like a power menu bowl or something. Because gluten drugs. And, ooh, I wonder. We haven't had Taco Bell in a little while. Normally, because we'll usually get it like something like once a week. Usually we have the rewards or whatever, and I can get a Doritos Locos Taco on that. Don't mind me checking my Taco Bell rewards as I'm streaming. Steal a base, steal a taco. Well, that's not it. No such luck. No Doritos Locos Taco for me today. Did you see Charo in the helicopter with Tom? No. I don't know what happened. I stopped getting... Literally just earlier today I watched... Oh, who was it? It was a tiny clip of Jimmy Carr on their podcast. YouTube, like, stopped recommending me their stuff. I gotta start searching them up again and start watching it. My thing is, I gotta imagine they rely heavily on the map DLC profits each year compared to the other DLCs and to sell the actual game. You'd imagine, right? I mean, all you have to do is take one quick look at view numbers and stuff on any channel. It doesn't have to be my channel. On literally any channel, including Expansive Worlds. When a new map drops, you have 2, 3, 4 times the players suddenly playing the game. In contrast to that, well, actually the AR drop was pretty big. But like the handgun pack that came out, even this newest one with the 44 lever action, it's like 2x maybe the players. It was for a few days. Naked chicken chalupa? Let's have a taco shell as fried chicken. Well, that sounds good. Wait. In theory, I could eat that. No, wait, it's fried chicken. Never mind. I'm stupid. Anyway, BRB going to Taco Bell? Let's all go to Taco Bell right now. I'm going to become an IRL streamer. Slap the GoPro. Can you stream from a GoPro? You probably can. Favorite Premier League team? Oh, I almost had the name of one of them. I don't know any, but there was one that was in my head for a second. Dang it. Why? It's right on the tip of my tongue. I can't come up with the name of it. Well, obviously I don't watch. I was gonna name you one. Hold on, I got this. Real Madrid is what I was gonna say. Is that one? Quick, think of any team. I was trying real hard. There's smoke coming out of my ears. You'd watch an IRL stream of that? Just heading to Taco Bell once a day? That is not one you failed me? It's not? I tried. That's La Liga? I don't know what that is. What's Real Madrid then? That's a big mail. So I'm grinding for lions right now, and for some reason my zones keep disappearing and reappearing. Animals like lions that are like solo animals like that, you'll get that sort of thing. A lot of times, like in, herd animals, moose, whitetail, things like that. We're not killing that one, by the way. The zone remains when you shoot, an animal out of the herd or several animals out of the herd. When you shoot the only animal in the, air quotes, herd or pack or pride, that can cause the zone to move and go somewhere else. You're just going to get that with lions. It's not anything you're doing wrong or really anything you can change. The phobia of people eating or the sound of people eating? You have that? I didn't know that. Now, anytime that we're hunting together, I'm going to be like over in the corner munching on whatever really quietly. If you streamed the After Effects. Just say Arsenal? No, I hate Arsenal. They're the worst team. Is that your favorite team? If that's your favorite team, they're the worst team. Went hunting Saturday and saw nothing but squirrels. That was my morning hunt on Saturday. I should tell you guys about that. So, originally I wanted to hunt all day yesterday. That's the only Sunday in PA that you can archery hunt. I don't know why they do it that way, but It's like they're slowly trying to incorporate Sunday hunting. Anyway, the last couple of years since that's been a thing, I've hunted that Sunday all day. And what I do, judge me if you must, I go out, I sit there, I wait till NFL football starts. This week it was going to start at 9:30 a.m. It was perfect. It's game in Germany, as much as it sucked, Colts Patriots. And I'll just mute my phone. I'll bring a portable charger. I'll set my phone wherever. For instance, if I'm on a double stand, I'll set it on the seat of the other stand. I'll watch football all day. Just watch around me, listen for deer moving, and watch whatever's going on. It's a good time. But my dad shot a doe like 2 weeks ago. My brother shot a buck November 2nd, and we had to get them processed. They'd been hanging in our like big cooler thing ever since. So they chose Sunday to do that. Therefore, I decided to hunt all day Saturday. What's up, Stoop? I didn't see a deer till 9 a.m. and it was a tiny little forky. Not long after that, I saw a little bit of movement. And it was like this, it was dark in color, it was moving kind of quick. I'm like, all right, here's a buck. You can just, I don't know why, but bucks in the shadows, it feels like you can just identify them based on movement speed and stuff. And then I catch another glimpse of it. No, it's too dark and its legs are too thick. That's a bear. Nope. Some large fella in black sweatpants walking his dog on the public property that borders ours, and then up onto my dad's property a little bit. I don't think he meant to do that. Kind of felt like it ruined my hunt. What's up, Drip? What's the reason for no hunting on Sundays? I think it goes back to like Quaker days, basically. It's a, PA Quaker state. Should try watching soccer while grinding? There's such little scoring, and I'm not saying like that's the problem with soccer. If you understand like what's actually happening, on an individual player basis, I think it'd be a lot of fun and very I had the word in my head. Like, captivating. I'm saying encapsulating. Not understanding how things work. If you don't understand soccer and you're just watching a final score of 1-0, it's hard to watch. So I need to learn it first. It's called football. Football, however you want to say it. I have one kind of football I watch. And the ball is oblong. Which really means it's not a ball, doesn't it? I do sometimes get bored with some games, but I sit and watch. I mean, now, if you're not an NFL fan, you're not going to know what I'm about to say, but I believe I watched every snap of Panthers-Bears Thursday night, and I watched the vast, vast majority of Colts-Patriots Sunday morning. These are low-scoring, fairly bad teams, uninteresting games, and I still watch basically all of it. That's how it goes. If you're a fan, you watch it. So I get what you mean. And rough for the Oilers? Are we talking about hockey? If you put me in front of an NFL game, I'd walk away. You should go to one of the NFL games when they have them in London. You put on like a Patrick Mahomes jersey, you might get on TV. Doing herd management or not, I wouldn't say as like, I'm not out here like leaving every single level 1 and 2 or stacking diamonds or anything like that. But like if there's, for instance, just a couple of zones ago, there was a level 2 moose standing there and I just let it go because I didn't feel like shooting it. If that's herd management, then I guess I am herd managing, but it's a much less active attempt at balancing the levels and stuff and more consciously knowing that herd management does work, so why should I shoot that level 2? Does that make sense? The biggest story in the NFL is that Taylor Swift changed lyrics of her song to reference her boyfriend. I think the biggest story in the NFL is that CJ Stroud is a stud. And if you don't believe me, I don't know. Are you a Penguins fan? Like, I don't root for... There's not a... Okay, if the Penguins are doing good, I'm happy about it. And if the Penguins are doing bad, I wish they were doing better. Am I a Penguins fan? I don't go out of my way to watch their games or anything, so I don't feel like that's actually a fan. CJ Stroud was so underrated at the start of the year. I think that, what did they call it? The S2 test? I think that whole thing really, you know, kind of set him back in terms of what expectations and stuff were going to be. I felt like, and typically I don't watch much college football. If I'm not mistaken, the only Ohio State football I saw all year in, what would that be, 22? Or, yeah. Was, I think I watched a little bit of the Michigan game. And then I did watch the entirety of the game on New Year's Eve against Georgia. And Stroud was like straight balling. I'm like, okay, this dude's going to be a guy. And then there's the S2 stuff, and then, you know, there's like all these reports and whatever type of like information comes out, like, yeah, like this test, quarterbacks that do bad on it are flops in the NFL. Sure doesn't look like he's going to be. Biggest story of the year is how bad my fantasy football team turned out to be. Dude, your team is not even bad. I feel like you're going to beat me this week. I'm either in the playoffs if it started today, or on the fringe of it after like the worst. I was 1-4, I think. And I feel like your team's still going to beat me. Your points against, like, everybody just has the best week against you. Steelers are the biggest sleepers in the NFL. They're going to win the Super Bowl. Man, I am as big a Steeler fan as there is, and I think they could sneak up on someone and win a playoff game. Do I think there's a legitimate chance they actually even make the Super Bowl? Not really. I mean, they could have a 2005 Steelers-like run, but their defense hasn't, as good as they've played, they aren't that dominant. Will Levis is better than CJ Stroud, in my opinion, Kentucky fan? I mean, I've seen Levis do some good things. Maybe if he gets more chances to develop, maybe there's a chance, but I need to see more from Levis before I can agree with that one. Easiest grind? Are we talking about great ones, diamonds? Steelers supposedly have the best defense? They have the best defense in terms of turnovers and stuff, I think. They allow a lot of yards, they really do. And they're on the field a lot. Lately, the Steelers' offense has been better, but their statistical rank was like 30th because, again, they were on the field non-stop. So, I don't know how good the Steelers' defense actually is either, but I have seen Will Levis and Jordan Love move the ball more than you'd like against, you know, what you would call an elite defense. Jack, thank you for the super chat, by the way. Gotta scroll up so I can read that there instead of on the alerts thing. Just about the 44 because of your review of that DLC. Love it. Also been watching your videos since how many 22 rounds to kill a Buffalo video 5 years ago. That is an all-timer. I appreciate you sticking around since then, man, because that one was definitely a little different than what we typically do. Still say fire Canada? I think Matt Canada is actually going to become the next Bill Walsh, only because he's moved to the sideline. I don't think that, but it's interesting. They have been a little bit better. Just joined any great one? None yet. No diamonds even, which has been weird. We killed, I don't know, it was like 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. We kind of came back to the grind a little bit. Had a level 5 moose. Felt like within 45 minutes. Haven't seen a 5 since. I personally think it's high time for another meme video. After hunting season, that's something I definitely want to start to stray back into. Tomlin refuses to be under 500. I think the Steelers need to get rid of Mike Tomlin. So, like, I think if the only argument I can make for getting rid of Mike Tomlin, well, there's two. Either if he is the reason for hiring and retaining Matt Canada, I think you have an argument. I personally think there's more to it than that. I kind of think the Rooneys are involved in that. My other argument would be maybe you just think it's time for a change of scenery. Because they just win too many games they shouldn't win with him. And I know, like, you look over the years, they lost games they shouldn't have lost, too. But it's hard to argue with... I mean, I think it's pretty fair to say they have the 4th best quarterback in their division. You can probably say they're somewhere 13th, 14th best quarterback in their conference. They were 9-8 last year. They're 6-3 already this year. He gets the most out of his players for the most part. How do we have such giant males on this map? Fleeing. Curious, how do you get to go to the ATA show? So there's like, I think there's 3 different groups. There's vendors, that would be the people that, like, you know, make products and such. There are, like, the buyers, or retailers, I think is the specific thing, which is, by the way, how we got to go. We have a sponsor, they're Hunter's Friend Europe. And he's the biggest, the guy that owns it, I don't know how to, it's D-A-N-A is his name. I don't know, like, if you were to just pronounce, because it's I think it's Finnish or something, but I don't know if you said it in English, if it's Dana, Donna, however you say it. Anyway, he's the biggest archery retailer in Finland. When you are a retailer or whatever, you get like a ticket to the ATA show and you get 2 tickets for family or whatever. TK and I, like, were the ones that he gave the tickets to. That's why we got to go. So there's those 2 groups, and there is a media group. I'm not sure how media gets in, though. I don't know where you get the invite for that. So we were kind of like media, but under the retailer grouping. People talk about Bill Belichick getting fired. What a time to be alive. If anybody had even said that, like, 5 years ago, the absolute mutiny that would have occurred. Do you have any great ones, not to be rude? 1 fallow, 1 whitetail, 1 red deer. No meese, no black bear. Perfect, bottom boy. There's hockey talk, and I don't know what. I'm just allowing it to happen, and I'm reading it, but I'm not responding because I'm going to sound dumb. What is the easiest great one grind? Probably fallow deer. Red deer has proven to be pretty easy for people on Te Awaroa, but I think all in all, and fallow deer's on Te Awaroa too, I think all in all fallow's a little easier just because of the less tankiness of the animals. Like, rarely do you have to track a fallow deer, basically. If you make even a halfway decent shot with the M1, the 308, I guess you could use the 44 if you wanted, it's probably going to drop. If you use the 300 on red deer, you can drop them in their tracks most times, but I find there's more tracking and more of that to consider. The 12 scoring red fox luck will eventually come today? Maybe. All that's happening is Hailstorm is confirming that the Leafs live rent-free in people's heads, and all they can say is 1967, it's so old that I don't even care anymore. Well, oh, hello there. That clears that up. Now I know exactly where we're at. 9,000 kills? Good lord. It's those sorts of grinds that scare me. Like, I remember, whose grind was that? Somebody went 13k on red deer. Like, I enjoy the game, and I like to think of myself as someone who's fairly, stubborn and someone who doesn't give up on stuff. I ain't killing 13,000 moose or 13,000 black bear, I'll tell you that right now. Just ain't gonna happen. Weren't Tom and Bill in the Super Bowl 5 years ago? 2018, I think so. Have you heard about the new Matthews bow? Beyond hearing that it is a thing, like that they're I think they just released a new one. No, like I know it exists, but that's about it. As a Sharks fan, I also wish I was not a huge hockey fan this year. That's the thing, though, about like being a sports fan generally. Other than like dynastic runs, you know, Patriots of, well, even 20 years there, but even with the Patriots, it was 3 in the early 2000s and 3 between like 2014 and 2018. They went to some others and lost, but for the most part, your team's just not going to win or win the championship. That, I feel like I've maybe come to terms with that or something a little bit. Like, I really, and I kind of still do, Kyla can attest to that, but I really used to live and die with like every single Steelers game. If they lost, I was miserable for, hey, there's a hidden lake up there. I was miserable for like, till Tuesday. Just didn't want anything to do with football, wouldn't watch any football the rest of the, like I wouldn't watch the Sunday night, let's say they played at 1 o'clock. Wouldn't watch 4 o'clock games, wouldn't watch Sunday night, wouldn't watch Monday night. About Tuesday, you know, you start looking forward to the next week. Then I would start to like get back into watching stuff on it. Now I just kind of like watching good football, which ironically the Steelers don't play a lot of good football. But the Steelers can, you know, get killed by the 49ers week 1 like they did. And I'll watch 4 more games that day. How's your IRL deer hunting going? Not as well as I would like. I did get a doe and muzzleloader, so, you know, it's not as if I haven't gotten anything for the freezer yet. Hello there. Pfft. It's the wrong level 5, but okay. We have the 44, which means we have the ability to punch through just about anything. And I think we're going to try to smoke that thing. Anyway, other than that, like as far as bow hunting has gone, I haven't gotten to full draw. I haven't really had anything remotely close to an opportunity. I've only picked up my bow a few times. And then those times, like, the deer would go the other way or wouldn't come into bow range, whatever it was. Thick bacon. Meat eater event. I'm unaware of this. Where did those bacons go? I had almost spotted something down to the left. There he is. Feel like this will punch through? I would say that punched through. That was ridiculous. My only concern is it's so powerful it might be a skull shot, which would suck, but you know, is what it is. Can I buy your account for $1? It's on sale for $12 actually. A day before a wedding, indeed. Alright, do we have over-penetration of the skull? Yep. Oh, it was max score too. Great. Oh, it's a brain shot. What? Well, that's unfortunate. What an insane shot. Well, that's rather unfortunate. We did have a 1,000 scoring wild boar back in the day, so it's not as if we have never had a max score. I literally right after it too. I didn't consider it until right after the shot. Like, you know, these things are kind of like rectangular shaped, so their head from behind is exactly in line with their lungs, and we were too far to the right anyway, but that's the way you're not supposed to shoot boar with the 44. Don't be like me. Why are you the way that you are? It's fine. It is the only, well, I have the 243 pistol, but it is the only gun we could have used. I should have just shot it broadside. A little more forethought than I would have. It is virtual bacon, you're right. Will there ever be a speedrun video? Never say never. It is something that I kind of want to mess with. I just don't even know how to begin with something like that. Hogs that big are terrible eating? Is the bacon terrible? What are you doing nervous over there? Strugs. The dude has enough diamonds? Not that I wouldn't, you know, take down whatever we have. A 140 some. I think we even have a 150. Diamond Wild Boar for the max score one, but without true tusks or anything. I mean, it's not like I don't care. I wish I had gotten that. Max score diamonds are a thing we usually don't get, but of the species to screw up, Wild Boar's up there. I'd have been much more sad if that was a moose. I don't run and I don't do speed. You think the Steelers can win their 7th Super Bowl this year? I mean, can they? I guess. Will they? I would not bet a cent that that would happen. He was max score, yes. It was a weird estimate for max score. I mean, he was 141 or something minimum, but I do find a lot of high estimate level 5 Wild Boar. A lot of max score things have like stupid estimates, like 150 to 190 or something. Or that would be an example. But should the Steelers win the Super Bowl? Just define should. As in, like, do they deserve to win it? No. The team construction and stuff just isn't quite there. Should they, for me to, like, enjoy Super Bowl Sunday? Yeah, sure. Okay. I guess, well, I wasn't even going to go here, but I guess we'll check here. It'll be the Broncos to win the Super Bowl? Russell Wilson would get 1 million Subway commercials. Kind of sets the vibes for a possible Great One Boar, though, doesn't it? Kind of meh. If there were... I don't even know how you would do it. If there was like a degree of true tusks and true size and stuff, I'd be more interested in a Great One Boar. But I don't... Like, I get the whole Hogzilla thing and stuff. People have talked about that. It would be a neat idea. I'm just not sure it has the... that mystique. There's a word I'm looking for. That, like... I cannot think. I'm having a terrible time coming up with the words today. Majesty, kind of. Like a big old thick boar with some huge tusks. It doesn't... I don't think it quite holds up with... even a black bear. Super Bowl halftime shows just ruin the turf and fill the stadium with smoke? Don't talk about ruined turf. Eagles fans will come get you. Would have been a perfect time for a mid-love story proposal by Kelsey. I think that's a good way to lose the Super Bowl. That distraction would be a little too much. Turf's already bad, ask Rogers. Rogers, I think Cousins was on grass. Someone else just blew out there. Oh, it was Quan Alexander for the Steelers, which actually makes me really not confident in their game against the Browns this weekend. Both of their starting, well, kind of 2 of their 3 rotational middle linebackers are now out for the season, so that's great. If it's going to be big, make it big, like the size of a grizzly big. I think they should name it Thickzilla. Like Thick AJ Hawk. But it's the Chiefs, so who cares? What about the turf thing? Or them losing the Super Bowl? Just joined any diamonds? We did kind of just screw up a max score Wild Boar a minute ago. I may have shot through the back end of it and into the brain with the 44. Do you, big male? I live, eat, sleep, and dream? That doesn't seem like the right word. Anyway. Don't forget the Christmas vid either, the 12 males of Christmas. I do want to come up with some sort of like Christmas special beyond just hunting the Rudolph reindeer in Classic. It's such a tradition though. Like, the problem with the Christmas special for me, like when I think of what I would do, I want it to be fairly short and sweet. Like, there's a balancing act of like, some people are away from their families, can't see their families, don't want to see their families, whatever it may be. And like providing some kind of content for that side of the viewer base is something I want to do. But there's also a percentage of the viewer base that, as much as I am like eternally grateful and appreciative for the fact that they're going to probably watch that video on Christmas and spend however much time away from their family watching my video because they're super supportive and amazing, I'm trying not to drop like a 35-minute Christmas special. I'm trying to make it like an 8-10 minute video so they can, if they're gonna watch it, you know, they can watch and they're not gone half the day. Would you do a blacktail hunt for the biggest gold? How so? What's your favorite letter? Well, dang, the 12th letter of the alphabet's L. That kind of sucks. I was counting it out. I was figuring it out. Well, what's that, the 10th? Now I'm trying to go backwards. It ain't working very good. Santa Claus giveaways on Christmas? I do need to do the giveaways for the Flinter bow and Classic. They took so darn long to make it purchasable that I never got back around to actually doing the giveaways. Well, binos, they're the Apex Fuse 7x42 rangefinder binoculars. I think you unlock them at level 27. Fabled Thick Bacon. Can you give short introduction on some hunting sims? What makes them better than the other, and what is the better one? So I think there's 3 primary hunting, you're talking about hunting simulation games. This one, The Hunter Call the Wild, kind of the predecessor to this game, The Hunter Classic, and then Way the Hunter, a kind of newer one. I'll start with Classic, it being the oldest one. Graphically, it's just not on par with the 2 newest games. Gameplay-wise, actual, like, hunting strategies and stuff that goes into it, I think it's the most realistic, and I think it's, frankly, I've been saying this for like 10 years, it's the best hunting game ever made. If you're, you know, the graphics hold up well, it doesn't look like this, you know, it looks like a game that was made, I think it looks like a game that was made in 2015, it was made in 2009. But anyway, if older graphics are something that would bother you, that might be one reason to not go for it. Otherwise, 100% Classic, great option. This game, Hunter Call the Wild, is more kind of arcadey, and I hate to call it that because it feels like an insult, but I don't mean it to be an insult towards the game. It's faster paced. You're going to see way more animals. You're going to see way more trophy-size animals. You're going to be able to do things like I just did, shoot 2 animals in rapid succession before they even run away. That kind of stuff kind of defines Call of the Wild, in my opinion. Fast-paced, lots of animals. You don't have to worry about being super stealthy while running around, right? Way the Hunter, I think, falls kind of in between. There's things about Way the Hunter that are more realistic. The hit animations, some of the ballistics as far as the guns and stuff go, is more realistic even than Classic. But because there are zones and you can find animals in their drink zones reliably at their drink time, you can really reliably and consistently encounter animals. I hope that kind of made sense. You're sleeping on Buck Hunter? It's a big Buck Hunter, right? Not Buck Hunter. Is getting Way the Hunter worth it, just in your opinion? If you're interested in a, you know, more kind of true-to-life simulation of hunting in a game, then yeah, 100%. It's really fun, I really enjoy it. The biggest problem I have with Way the Hunter is this time of year. Like, when I am hunting in real life and when I'm spending 10, 12 hours a day in a tree stand, I'm probably not going to come home and play something that's slower paced. Now, for whatever reason, that Classic doesn't have that feel to me. What I think it is, though, Classic is random spawn. Every single time you start a hunt, it's a full, fresh population of animals, so you just never know what you're going to get. With Way the Hunter and the aging system, you kind of do know exactly what you're going to get, and it's kind of time-based. You have to put in time to see your animal's age. You can play multiplayer, and that's a fresh spawn, but it's still a kind of different vibe to it. You can buy Buck Hunter at Best Buy for 500, what, 500 bucks? Like an arcade cabinet? I'd do it. 100 kills into my fallow grind, haven't got a diamond. Is that normal when I'm using herd management? I would say it is, because you probably need to kill, I'd say 300 to 500 deer before you kind of get like a baseline of respawns and stuff. If you get to a couple hundred kills and you still haven't had a diamond, you've probably got a diamond or several on your map somewhere that you're not checking. There really shouldn't be any spots you hate on Tay. Like, I guess the southeast.
You have a habitual grind, you go certain places and just like...
You can't be that habitual at 100 kills. How? What do you mean? That's like 3 hours. Oh my god. I don't know why. I thought that said Brandon Herrera for a second. I was like, uh-oh. Politicians coming in here dropping super chats. I'll wait for that to actually play through as an alert. How old were you when you shot your first deer? I was 10 when I shot my first buck. A very young lad I was. Hopefully that alert's gonna work. What's up, Great 100? Side note, I love No November. Love to see the boys struggle. Good lord. Well done. I love No November. There we go. There's the alert. Brandon, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Been watching your content for years and wanted to say thanks for the many hours of enjoyment. In Way the Hunter, does killing low fitness males help the genetics in just that herd or the overall region you're hunting? So good question. I think it's region, and I haven't looked at the exact word. Hello? I haven't looked at the exact wording in the encyclopedia for a bit now, but it says something like it improves the genetics for like the area or something. So I think it's beyond that herd. But what you do notice is the same herd producing multiple 5-stars. Like I've had like 4 5-star whitetails from the same herd, for instance. So I believe it's probably area based. I'm not sure if it's full region. Like it might be sub regions kind of. I wish I had like a definite answer to that, but just based on the wording in the encyclopedia, I think it's beyond just that herd. And thank you again for the support. I really appreciate that. You were also 10 when you shot your first buck. Nice. Biggest deer overall, it was the one, it's actually the buck in my channel banner. I shot him in 2021. He was 180 and 6/8 inch gross. I only commit to one No November, and I've already shaved twice. Only one No November. You can't commit to multiple. We're past 1600. We should probably change the time. 180 is insane for PA. He is the second biggest non-typical ever shot in the county, which is... When I say it's dumb, I don't mean like that's small. I mean, for, you know, some goofy YouTuber to have been kind of shot is kind of stupid, but here we are. You shot it? He was yours. I see. Bottom Boy's a legend. Born and raised. I've been watching your videos for a while now, and I sometimes see/hear you taking a screenshot of the harvest menu. I've tried different methods in game, but can't figure out how you do it. Are you on PC? If you are, I guess I then need to know if you're playing through Epic Games or Steam. But, to answer how I do it, because if you're on Steam, then you're going to be the same. F12 on Steam just takes a screenshot. Danny, thank you for the super chat. I'm going to read that because it's slowly scrolling out of my chat, and I don't know when the alert will actually work. Big buck, saw camera, and bolted again. Wise deer. Dude, I'm going to trespass onto your property and shoot that thing. That's a big buck. What's your biggest diamond whitetail? So back in 2020, the scoring was different. You could have whitetail going above 300. This is still with true racks. I'm not talking about legacy racks. There's that alert from Danny. Thank you again, man. I had a 289, I believe, on the Great One grind. That was as big a buck as I ever got. With the current scoring, ever since they changed that, I think it's like 273 or 274. How many kills should I get per run? That, to be honest, kind of depends on what you're doing. If you said you're herd managing. If you are like really efficient, fast traveling around, like making kill shots, people were saying they were getting 100 kills per hour, but their runs were like maybe 10 minutes. So it just depends on how you set it up. Yes, PC and Steam, yeah, F12 will take your screenshots. Accessing them can be a little bit annoying. You can do it through Steam, like your Steam homepage will like show your recent screenshots. If you gotta do it through your documents, if you look up on Google like where the Steam screenshots go, it'll tell you the file path. It's a little convoluted, but had to take a picture on my phone when I got my last diamond. Yeah, the screenshots definitely make that a little easier. Will there be any luck with that Great One Moose today? Well, we did ruin max score diamond wild boar. It was a sacrifice to the Great One gods. I did it on purpose, for sure. No Nutella November. Yeah, what do you even have for breakfast? It's annoying when you want to send an old screenshot on Steam. Yeah, it's just like... you feel like they could store them somewhere that doesn't require 15 folders to be opened. No shower November? Yikes. Got a new laptop for Christmas. Nice. I need to get a laptop. Not that it would help me with this particular trip that I'm going on this weekend, but if I could, like, only have to record videos to prep and then worry about editing and thumbnailing, you know, at night after hunting or whatever it may be, could definitely cut down on prep time. Are there just not going to be... there's got to be some bulls. Although maybe we shouldn't have done this right after changing the time. I don't know. Where do you hunt? Primarily in Pennsylvania. Been doing some out-of-state hunts the last couple years. Been to West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, and now going to Indiana here in... well, their firearm season Saturday. Gonna be there like a day before that. Got an albino raccoon, and it was the first raccoon I've ever shot on Call of Duty. Well, that's some solid luck. They are pretty darn rare as far as I know. No poop July. You gotta be careful when those fireworks go off. They can ruin the whole thing 4 days in. You're lying? You just want to play Classic whenever you can? Oh, with the laptop. I mean, so G-Man has done some research for me, and what I mean by that is he bought a Steam Deck, and you can definitely play Classic on a Steam Deck. And if you think, what the... okay, that's fine. Speeding across the ice. If you think I wouldn't play Classic in a tree stand until the battery on the Steam Deck dies, you're wrong. I would definitely do that. Indiana's great hunting. I know the public land track that we're going to, I feel bad being like, well, he missed this nice buck. But it was in a video that we put out, so it's not like I'm ratting him out. He missed probably like a 130-inch 10-point last year. So, you know, I told him that he passed it on purpose and it's going to be a 160 this year, and maybe he can get it. Both of us will be filming. That will also be a video. For those of you that don't watch the Meat Hunters channel and only watch the real-life content when it comes out on this channel, I'm planning on dropping the first real-life hunting content of 2023 tomorrow. So long as EW doesn't drop any information on us, because obviously we had that teaser for a dog. Kinda curious what they're gonna do this week. Gonna be keeping an eye on that. Like I said, I'm prepping content to go out of state, so I'm not exactly in a position to put 2 videos out in one day. Crash on ending the streak. Guess it was just Kentucky? Yeah, there's, I think theirs is always the Saturday before Thanksgiving, but I don't know if that's true or not. Suggest a Virginia hunt. Maryland is one that I've been looking into, and then Virginia, it might have been turkeys. My brother, I think he's an engineer. Well, he is an engineer of some kind, but I don't remember if it's civil or whatever. He has to travel for work, probably like once every 2 months. And during turkey season, he was going to Virginia. He was going to do some turkey hunting there and kind of like scout it out, but the way that his hours worked out, he didn't get to go. Still haven't gotten to sit down and watch a Kentucky vid. Bad friend for real. Well, I mean, you were there. You do know what happens. Be funny if it's a beagle? I mean, I said this exact sentence to Psycho Beagle, who, you'd never believe this, owns beagles. I said the bark didn't sound right, and I said, like, my guess is beagles don't really do a normal bark. And he said, yeah, like, they can, but it's a rarity, so I feel like it's not. Isn't the EW stream postponed until Thursday? I think so, but I'm just like, basically all I'm saying is, if they were to drop something on us Tuesday, the real life hunting video is not going to come out till later in the week. I kind of expect it to be Thursday, which sucks because I'm not going to be here, but maybe I'll get lucky. What are you targeting right now? Basically trying to get a great one moose. What are you guys doing over there? That ain't normal. Alright then. Maybe your good luck just had a small buck walk by. I like the sound of that. A little daylight movement. Since there was a rabbit in the trailer, great one jackalope. That would set the community off. We're in Indiana. Oh, where in Indiana you're going hunting? I actually don't even know. I know it's approximately 2 hours from Indianapolis. In what direction? No clue. He probably did tell me, like, what public land tract it is. I just don't remember. In DasBiel right now, going after a buck that looks to be about 145. Sounds like a good deer. Hopefully you can get him. I forgot the Broncos and Bills play tonight. No offense to Danny, but I kind of need the Bills to win so my record this week is better. The Jets let me down again. I'm done picking the Jets and I'm done picking the Panthers. They hate me. I can't believe I was so proud of my Panthers pick. I'm sitting there Thursday night. It's 7-0 after that punt return touchdown. I'm like, these teams are so bad, 7-0 might win it. And then I think it was 10-3, 10-6. I think then it went to 13-10, and then 16-10, and then the Panthers drive, and it's 1st and 30, and they somehow get a first down, and then they kick a field goal. The 1st and 30 might have been the last drive. Anyway, they end up yeeting a 59-yard field goal attempt with Eddie Pinheiro, and missing it, and they lose. So I'm never picking the Panthers again. I picked them 2 weeks in a row. Why would I do that? Oh boy, more football talk. Don't get me started. It can continue. What do you think the new dog will be? Personally, I'm leaning retrievers because... So I thought it could be pointers or retrievers. When there was a rabbit in the video, in the teaser trailer, you kind of think of pointers or beagles more with rabbits, and it doesn't sound like a beagle like the dog that barks in the trailer. So that leads me to potentially pointers, but, you know, a retriever could pick up a rabbit for you too. And the reason I didn't really think it's a pointer is because the rabbit runs away in the trailer, and, like, your pointer is not supposed to be spooking your rabbits, so that's why I'm left with retriever. I want a pointer because I suck at finding small game. Let me tell you something about that video I made the other day when they did the teaser trailer. So I literally went into it being like, okay, this could be pointers, could be retrievers, going to talk about both. And my thought process was like, you know, I'm probably going to be more hyped for retrievers. I hope it's retrievers. So then I played Classic with the pointer and the retriever. And by the end of it, I'm going like, I kind of think it's a retriever, but I hope it's a pointer. These things are cool, I forgot. They're really fun to hunt with in Classic. Could be a greyhound? What would a greyhound... Like, I have no idea what they do, minus being a bus. To me, the fact that they used a rabbit rather than a bird tells me it's a pointer. I just wonder about it running away. I mean, it could be. Like I said, I kind of hope it is. Josh Dobbs better than I expected. I'm so glad he's getting an opportunity. I always felt when he was in Pittsburgh that, I mean, I'm not going to say he was better than Big Ben. I don't think he should have been starting. But I always thought he should have been the number 2 over Mason Rudolph. And he was always the number 3 guy. It was a game against the Ravens. Ben got hurt. I think he got sacked. And it put him. They were on like their own goal line, and it was like 2nd or 3rd and 20. And they brought Dobbs in instead of Rudolph, even though Dobbs was the 3rd stringer. And they ran a play action with him, and he threw like a 25-yard laser for a first down. And that's like the one regular season snap he's ever taken as a Steeler. And it was a hugely impactful play that ultimately helped him to win the game. Literally, and even before that, I thought he was awesome. But from that moment on, I'm like, this dude needs an opportunity, because he has that, like, whatever you want to call it, that it factor. Ryder, thanks for renewing your Super Shoosterness, by the way. 51 months. That is a lot of months. Welcome back. What if it's something like a walker that will run animals past you? So, like, kind of how a beagle would run rabbits? Is that what you mean? What's up, Cool Prods? How's the stream going? Just popping in? Not doing too bad. We accidentally screwed up a huge diamond wild boar. As far as moose go, actually, I kind of spoiled it earlier. It's fine. Have we killed 20 moose yet? We have. So no spoilers here. So we've killed, yeah, right about 20 in the stream, which isn't great, but we're kind of just chilling. Kind of wish the Steelers still had him. Not sure how I feel about Kenny yet. So I don't know that I would ever necessarily, want Dobbs as like my long-term starter. Like I said, I think he's awesome. But I kind of feel like where he's playing right now is the ceiling. And to be honest, he's playing pretty good. I'm still, like, I kind of think Kenny Pickett, like, his clutch factor and stuff is something I think you can build around. I don't know if it's him or if it's Matt Canada, but they got to start working the middle of the field. You look at his passing charts. He never throws over the middle. There's a lot of big play. Thank you for pushing that moose. There's a lot of big plays to be had over the middle, and they just don't even try it. Hope it's a pointer. Maybe I'll get a freaking diamond mountain here. What if I want to get all the diamonds in the game before you, though? Then I don't want it to be a pointer, so you don't get such cool things. What if they would add it so raccoons can climb trees? Well, if they ever did that, maybe there'd be potential for them to add squirrels, too. Pointers can point out bobcats in Classic. Just saying. Maybe it helps us both. Just need the bobcat, indeed. Steelers seem to have so many players that definitely could be good but aren't there yet. And I'm less of this opinion now because I don't think Kenny has taken that second-year leap just yet. He's better than he was in his rookie year for sure, but there's still things that you just see it and, like, it's a mistake that should be, hey, like, you got to do it this way, not the way you just did it. And then he does it again. Those types of mistakes kind of make me worry. But my opinion, at the end of last year, when Kenny did start to play better and the defense and the running game and Pickens started to come on, I said 2023 they're going to go 10-7-ish, make the playoffs, maybe win the wild card round, then lose in the divisional round. So far, it's kind of looking like that's what they're going to do. And then I thought in 2024 that might be their year. They'd have a real shot at the Super Bowl. I don't see that yet unless Kenny makes another big step. Technically, he already has a Diamond Bobcat, just not a New England one. Yeah, we got plenty of Diamond Bobcats if the old Mexican Bobcats count. Alright, well, I'm just not going to go up that rock then. How's that sound? I have a 14-pointer at my farm that I'm trying to get this year. He's my target buck, and I've been getting him on camera. Hopefully he slips up and gives you a chance. We're out here killing 12-point meats. First year in the Mahomes era that I'm not expecting to go to the Super Bowl. They'll probably still make the conference championship because they do have a very good defense. And Mahomes is going to rise to the occasion in the playoffs. I don't know out of the AFC. Like, if it's not the Chiefs, I really don't think it's going to be the Dolphins now. They haven't beaten a good team yet. And I don't see them being the number 1 seed because they haven't beaten any good teams. Now they have a tiebreaker loss to the Chiefs. So in theory, they're going to play 3 good teams in a row in the playoffs. And if you can't beat a good team, that certainly doesn't bode well. So then you look at, you know, is it going to be Jacksonville? I doubt it. Is it going to be Houston? I think they need at least another year. Baltimore just lost to Cleveland. I mean, it could be anyone from the AFC North, probably other than the Steelers, but I also don't see Cleveland getting there. Cincinnati's 5-4 now. Like, they're going to have a tough path. I don't know. I got no clue what's going on in the AFC. The Titans? Will Levis is going to lead them there. And the NFC, I think it's the Eagles or the Niners, and that's kind of that. Dallas has maybe something to say, but I got to see them go into Philly and win it. Now, Philly could drop some games, and if they were to play in the playoffs, it could be in Dallas, and that would be interesting. I really am looking forward to that rematch in Dallas. What do you think about CJ Stroud, Rookie of the Year? I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year unanimously. He is... I personally think he's... I don't know if it's fair to some of the guys that have been doing it for a long time to call him top 10 right now. But when I look at it, I don't know if I can name 10 quarterbacks that are playing better than CJ Stroud the last, 4 or 5 weeks. Almost hope the Saints make the playoffs just so Jameis can eat some W's. Where are we even going? As a person that lives in Michigan, it would be awesome if the Lions won the Super Bowl. I think anybody, other than probably Packers, Bears, and Vikings fans, and I guess maybe the teams that the Lions may beat en route to a Super Bowl, I think everybody in the country would actually like to see them win. Just got my free AKA. I chose Kane. How do you get a free AKA? Is that Comp Pass? The Cowboys won't make it to the Super Bowl just because they seem to always choke when they need to do good. That has certainly been a trend for them since 1996. So that's a long history of the same type of play. Do the challenges then in the sets? Are you the AKA tokens one? Is there a set now to get a 91? I think I already used some of the AKA tokens to get the lower level ones because I didn't know that was going to be a thing. It'll be alright. Just got out of work. Anything good today? Nothing in terms of meese. I did screw up a max score wild boar by shooting it through the back leg, through the shoulder, and straight into the brain. Didn't mean to do that. How much longer are we streaming for? About 30 minutes. Feels like I say this every week, but I'd like to actually go longer with this grind today, but I gotta keep on prepping content for going to Indiana here at the end of the week, and unfortunately if I stream longer, not only can I not be recording during that, my voice will also be more dead to not be able to record later. If you have 30, yeah, I definitely use some. Dang. That could be nice. Who would I get? I don't know. Maybe OBJ or someone? I have that Team of the Week Josh Jacobs running back. I like him, but he has fumbled a few times on me. Is the night vision binocular DLC useful? For the night vision binocular specifically, I think it is. The bows and the night vision scope in that pack are pretty meh. What are you recording after this? I don't know. What do I have on my list here? I have... No, I'm not doing the angler.
You just don't want to collab with me. You don't want to be outfished.
Well, I will be outfished either way. I don't care about that. But I definitely... The problem with the angler is it's really hard. Like, if you don't catch a big fish, it's really hard to imagine that video being interesting. Whereas in Call of the Wild or Classic, for one, like, I feel like I'm good enough at the games and understand the games and stuff well enough that if I put in 2.5 hours, I'll probably find like a big whitetail in Classic or a diamond or a rare or something. In the angler, I might not even catch a gold, and it's like, how do I make this title interesting? Like, is anybody gonna want to watch this? So that's kind of why. I need to edit the rest of my real life hunting video. I'm gonna do a Call of the Wild Bobcat video, see if I can get that since we got the widgeon. I already recorded the inline video. The rest I just kind of have question marks, like Call of the Wild question mark, Classic question mark. Also just bought 91 Mean Joe. I have like no coins right now. I don't even remember who I just most recently bought. But I want that card. My theme teams are just garbage. I have no theme chemistry anywhere, and that certainly isn't helping me. So I was going to try to do a Steeler theme team. Maybe get Mean Joe. I've got Troy. I was going to maybe get that Joey Porter Jr. just as like my fourth corner. Pat Pete would be an option. But no. I got no coins to do any of that at the moment. The rifle you're using right now is a 300? Yes. Just get Taco Bell. Hashtag JGTB. Alright, not sure what he's up to, but... I don't know if we should shoot that one or not. We're getting pretty bad on hunting pressure. When's the first IRL fishing video coming out? That I cannot promise. I don't know, like, I'd like to film fishing, I just don't have a clue how I would go about it. Started Titan's theme team, but stopped, it's just a lot of work. I'm only just now making the connection. Now I know who you are on Twitch, too. Like, I was like, oh, what are the odds? Anyway, yeah, it's a lot of work, and like, I don't know. If I want a running back in the Steelers theme team, it's got to be Najee Harris. Not that that Najee card is bad, but Josh Jacobs is a little faster. A little shiftier. Get Terry? The AKA Terry? Who do I have most feared Gino as my QB right now, and I do be liking Gino, even though I almost don't need the speed at quarterback. Like, I rarely run. In the red zone, though, that 88 speed is nice. Hunter Bowles fan in the flesh? I knew it. Jalen Warren's better than Najee? I'll tell you what. You might be right. I gotta imagine there's things that Najee does better. I'm not sure what they are, because I think Jalen's a better pass protector, blitz picker-upper. That's good English. And he definitely hits the hole faster, and he seems to be a better receiver. I think short yardage and stuff, Najee can be better. But it's only like if there's nowhere to go. If there's a hole, give it to Jalen. He's going to hit it. I cannot pronounce your name. I have no idea how to say that. But hello from Hungary. What's going on, man? Mexican pizza. I actually don't even know what they put on. I've never had Taco Bell's Mexican pizza. What are you moose grinding for? You already have yours. You don't like it? Give it to me, please. Ungrateful. Najee just needs to run. He seems to try to be Love Bell. Yeah, like, the only thing I can defend him on is in 21 when he got drafted, he did, for the most part, just run. I think the problem was, though, he had a bad offensive line then. He had a bad offensive line the first half of last year. And he's kind of had a bad offensive line the first half of this year. So my personal diagnosis is I think he doesn't trust the line, and therefore he hesitates and kind of misses holes and looks for cutback lanes. IRL right now, big buck chasing does in the field. Wish I was there. You got 2 drop time racks, Caden? That's insane. That's like, I believe, the most rare one, maybe next to the typical. Where do we want to go here? Try here again. First time seen live. Welcome on in, man. Hopefully we can have a good last 25 minutes or so of this one. The line hasn't helped. Yeah, I just feel like surely he's, I mean, in college, you know, was he such a better athlete than defensive linemen and linebackers? It's not like he played it. Insert name of obscure college. He was at Bama. Like, he was playing good defenses and quality players. He's not like he's a straight ahead runner, 3 yards in a cloud of dust type runner. So I can't imagine he doesn't recognize that he needs to be that guy. So I chalk it up to not trusting the line. How about them Browns? Is that peace out, Ratbirds? You know, I kind of wanted the Ravens to win because, well, basically, not the biggest Deshaun Watson fan. But, I was impressed. I really was. Browns defense is really good. He just was out of our sights long enough I couldn't find him. Hit him twice. Been fortunate to see a lot of running activity this season. I don't know if it's because I've spent a little more time hunting here around my place because we've got 2 pretty nice bucks running around. 2 that we know of. I bet you there's at least 1 more big one that's in the area, maybe fringes, that hasn't been caught on trail camera just yet. So I haven't hunted like down in the bottom at my parents' where I've gotten good rut footage in the past. I just feel like I've seen next to nothing. If the Steelers would have lost, I would have been going with the Ravens, but obviously that didn't happen, so good job, Browns. It does give the Steelers an opening towards the towards the AFC North crown. I really don't think they're going to win the division at the end of the year, so I'm not too worried about that particular part of it. No, I got you, KW. I mean, like, can make the same argument about Roethlisberger post, like, 2009. It was kind of like, well, what am I going to do? Hope the Steelers lose now? It's not good. Don't think there's anyone who's a big Watson fan? There's probably a couple. I have the Browns D in fantasy. It carries me every week. I bet. I have the Steelers defense, and they give up just enough points. They'll get a couple turnovers, couple sacks. They get me like 6 points every week. It's a really consistent 6. Alright, we got 20 minutes. We'll reset the time one more time, get to the menu, come back. What's up, Fro? Can't remember, when did Spring Creek Lodge come out? That one was... Lodges were pre-True Racks. So like spring of 2019, I think. I'm trying to... So we had a couple of animals like... So we knew Trophy Lodges were coming out. So we stopped killing diamonds and we would just like kind of find them on our maps and wait for Trophy Lodges. I know we had stuff on Layton, we had stuff on Hirsch, and we had stuff on Verhunga. Not sure about Medved. Parquet would have been out by then. I don't know if we had anything on Parquet either. It had to have been 2019 when it came out, though. My QB is a Walter Payton Man of the Year, no big deal. I got so confused. I thought you were playing an older Madden because they've had Walter Payton out of position cards because, you know, halfback passes back in the good old days of football where everybody did that like once a week. No big deal. Did you get a diamond? We could have had a diamond wild boar if we didn't shoot literally through its back leg and into its brain with the 44. Closest thing I've seen to rut activity so far is making a little 2x2 buck angry with the snort wheeze call. You know, so we did have... There's a buck that we called Pinky. Because he had... Every time I say it, Pinky! Pinky! Anyway. He was a mainframe 8. But he had a little tiny, skinny, like abnormal right behind his G2 that looked like a little pinky. So he had broken that off by this point, but we saw him down the bottom, kind of like there was another buck that, a little wee thing, that was posturing up, trying to fight him a little bit. I snort wheezed at him. The best I got was a look back. Like, I don't know. This year's been rough in many facets, including deer not seeming to care about any of my calling. Think the Steelers have a chance of going all the way this year? Kenny Pickett's going to have to make a few more plays for me to be convinced of it yet. I think their defense can do enough, but I haven't seen enough out of the offense to think they have any chance of competing with. Buffalo's been kind of inconsistent. They might be able to beat Buffalo, but a Kansas City, even a Miami, I think will beat them right now. Jacksonville already did, obviously. Those type teams I think they'd really struggle with. All my bucks I've seen do not want to fight at all this year. I think they're starting to catch on. You know, everybody cares about scores and, you know, what their antlers look like on the wall and stuff. So if target bucks break off a tine, guys will start to pass them now. So they're like, all right, well, I'm just not going to fight at all. I'll be real pretty, but good luck calling me in. Wonder if Super El Nino is affecting deer behavior, warmer weather? Well, so like, there's a lot of, I'll say like, I don't want to call it a misunderstanding. There's a lot of like different opinions out there about what causes the rut. And I believe the correct answer is the waning daylight as you approach, you know, winter. So I don't know that the weather, like, I imagine it could impact how much they run around and stuff if it's warmer and stuff. But I feel like ultimately the weather probably can't change it that much. What's up, Alpha? It appears Matt Canada just does not want to make the playoffs. Also, that was a backward pass and should have been a fumble 6. If you really watch it, I think it may have been backwards, but like by less than a foot. The problem is the camera angle goes forwards. If you watch from Jalen Warren's back, that angle that was on the sideline there. The angles, like the bird's eye view angles, Kenny releases it from about the 8.5, and it hits Jalen right about the 8.5. I do think it probably was backwards a little bit, but because they rolled it forwards on the field, I think they made the correct call. So, like, you're right, but the refs did the right thing also, too, after screwing it up, I guess, to begin with. Did you watch the Green Bay game? Yes. I was actually at my mom and dad's. My brother and my dad both had deer that they've shot in the last couple weeks that we had to process, so we were doing that down in the garage, and I brought a laptop and YouTube TV. Set the laptop up on the workbench, and I definitely could have probably left 30 minutes sooner if I wasn't watching the game instead of, you know, cutting up deer, basically. It's kind of encouraging there's that many down here. Just a lot of you reporting weird deer behavior from different areas. Maybe think of the jet stream. You could be onto something there. All related to barometric pressure? Is there any proof of that though? Like, I think so. I do think days with like high pressure does cause more movement, but I'm not necessarily sure that that might be one of those like causation or correlation is not causation or whatever things. I wonder if there's other factors in it other than the pressure that is actually causing it. I don't know, but I've always wondered that. Man, I thought that was another hard shot. You're a barometric pressure? Thank you. Interception with a second left was crazy. They were scaring me. But, you know, life as a Steelers fan in 2022, 2023. They can't possibly win a game comfortably. They were up 17-7 early. It's just like, oh, they might cruise to a victory. Yeah, right. Had to come back in the fourth quarter, I think, again. They were down. How many points do you consider big? Are we talking about deer or football? I'm not sure. I guess then inches or tines. That Sunday night game had to have cured insomnia for some. That's how boring it was. It was rough. I was recording for Classic during that. Got a video coming out here sometime later this week, I think. And I was like, man, every time I would unpause it. They're punting again. All right, good. Does Kyla root for the Steelers now? I guess more than the Falcons, but yeah. She used to tune in and watch all the Steelers games with me when we were long distance, and now she's like, yeah, you can watch. I'm going to go catch fish in the angler. I almost think the Browns winning is worse than the Ravens because I think they'll keep winning either way. Got to keep the wild card open. That's kind of how I see it, personally. Deer. How many points do I consider big? Like, I guess I don't know. If it's tines, like a 10 point, I guess. If you're talking inches or whatever, to me, 120 is really big. Just shot a 200 red deer. How far off diamond is that? I think diamond's 251. A 14-inch spike is a monster and a 100-inch 8-point is small. There you go. It might be 251.19 K-flow for the and change part. I'm trying to think where that falls. It's something like that. Big is dependent on the area too, 100%. Like, yeah, that 120 that's big to me. People in Ohio, Iowa, like you said, are just like, yeah, I saw a small buck today. And it's bigger than anything I've ever shot. Where I'm from in the sticks is only points and 8 points a night's buck. I mean, Shadow's just back there munching on her own leg. 251.07, there you go. Anyway, like, I grew up that way. It was just like, how many points does your buck have, basically? Your biggest buck is your one with your most tines. We used to do, most of you guys probably know what this is, but I'll describe it for those that don't. We used to do a buck pull every year in our family, so maybe the buy-in would be $1 or $5 or whatever, and you'd put your money in, and whoever got the buck with the most points got all the money at the end of the year. It was all about the number of points, so I could have killed, you know, the world record 8-point, a 200-inch mainframe 8. And then, you know, someone else could have shot a 9-point that's 73 inches, but it has 9 points, and they would win. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that's how I kind of grew up with it too. The reason that I'm saying, like, it kind of comes down to inches and stuff, I'm really hunting more for age than size anyway. I mean, size is obviously nice. Big buck over a small buck, but if I can kill a 5.5-year-old buck that's, I don't even care, a 6-point, like a big mainframe 6, I'd be thrilled. It doesn't have to be huge or score high. Your tutorial video helped me a lot. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Your little under 100-inch knife is bigger than your 130-ish 8, exactly. Should do the pull by weight rather than points or 2 pulls? We never really weigh our deer, though. The only thing we could do is, well, not that, like, we can't come up with another way, but at least in terms of, like, the way that we process our deer and stuff, we could add a hanging scale to the hoist thing that we use, but other than that, like, it's never really in a place where we'd conveniently be able to weigh them. Someone said there's some Steelers fans in here. I don't know any. Can we get a Great One guide for whitetail? I'm not sure that I'm necessarily in a position to make a Great One guide. I don't know that I know all the relevant information there is to know, to be honest. Couple of absolute smalls. Fro hates the Steelers? I knew it. Grew up on a farm, so I'm used to the big hanging scales, hay bales, etc. Yeah, the scale is just not something we ever... My dad did sell corn in like 100-pound sacks and stuff, but I guess they just weighed it by like, you know, you fill it till the sack's full. Shadow Wolf, thanks for becoming a Super Shooster. Appreciate that. Welcome on in. Shadow looked up at me when I said that. If you're not in the Discord already, be sure to join that as well. Link up your YouTube, get the member roll, get all that good stuff, and enjoy the emojis and green name here in chat. Very much appreciate the support. Going moose hunting in Hunter Call of the Wild. Any tips? I guess it depends on what map you're going to moose hunt on. Generally, though, drink time is 12 to 1600. Hunt around lakes, you're going to find plenty of moose. Duck hunting in Classic, is it a good way to get GM? It's solid. In terms of, like, you know, how much effort you have to put in, sit there, call them in, you can make a lot of GM that way. There are things that can be a little bit faster, like, for whatever reason, I think it's magpie geese give really good GM output, like, compared to other waterfowl, but you have a duck setup, like, obviously, you have that, so rather than buy a magpie setup, yeah, I'd roll with what you got. Where big meese? I don't know, not around here. Favorite map of all mine would be Parquet. I'm a big Parquet fan. I kind of, like, through doing videos on the game over the years, I've kind of gotten the impression that Parquet's not super popular, but I've always thought it was a good map. Best Great One grind for my first one, in terms of, like, ease of getting into it and stuff, I'd say fallow deer. Red deer can be fairly easy, but as was mentioned in here earlier, there's some horror stories of red deer grinds going 10, 12, 13,000 kills. Because you're answering chat, I'm subscribing to you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Enjoyed Parquet a lot when it was released. I still enjoy it now. I think probably less so because, you know, you can only hunt a map in the same species in the same area so much until you're kind of like, alright, I've seen this before, right? But I enjoy black buck and stuff. I miss when they used to drink during the day. Axis deer, kind of same thing. I like their old drink time better. Mule deer, red deer, I mean, those are always, you know, top end favorites. They added javelina, which I am also a fan of. And there's water buffalo. He's gonna be out of sight. I was gonna see if we could get that crazy 44 round penetration on one. First diamond was a black buck. Nice. Do you herd manage? If not, why? I guess, like, to a degree I do. Like, I don't necessarily understand exactly how it's supposed to work, and I don't want to. Like, I don't want to play that way where I'm like, can't shoot that one. That'll, you know, that'll make my diamond spawn less or something. I do understand that herd management works. Like, there's no doubt. Herd management does help you get a great one. And because of that, I'm not going to be out here and be like, hey, there's a level 1 moose, might as well kill that. Because I just know, like, what I do understand is having more low-level moose on your map is a good thing, to a degree anyway. So, like, I'll leave a level 1 or level 2 if I see it, but I don't, like, I don't stack diamonds or anything like that. I don't even know, like, what ratios or whatever you're supposed to have. If I see a level 3 moose or higher, it's getting dead. Do you think Mississippi is worth the money? I think if you like alligator hunting and stuff, it can be, but you can play any map that you don't own in multiplayer, so I'd try it out in multiplayer. If you really like it, yeah, buy it so you can play it whenever you want. If you don't care for it, just play it in multiplayer whenever you feel like hunting that map. Nice, Eli. I'm just not gonna have the time. The passes and stuff, and I did get to level 50 in the field pass, so I got 91 moss or whatever. He's 92 speed and stuff now, so I've got 1 speed receiver. But I just am simply not gonna get there for the all Madden stuff, which sucks, but what do you do? Urge management sucks the fun out of the game, that's the downside. That's where I'm trying to find that balance. Like, I guess, like, if I really do want a Great One Moose, which I do, but I don't know how much, we'll see. Like, you know, am I still grinding in 3 weeks, right? I should be trying to be more efficient than this. I should be fast travel and to claim stuff. I kind of like this better. I kind of like just, you know, hey, we're going to run around, we're going to shoot all the moose we see, we're going to rinse and repeat. The problem is we haven't killed a diamond doing this in a couple hundred kills now, so is it working? Opinion on Rancho? I used to love Rancho. When it first came out, there were deer and bobcats and bighorn pheasants everywhere. I want to say it was with Reventuli, it may have even been before that. When they did the population redistributions, they stopped, you know, being so populated around some of those areas. And it's not that it would be a bad map now. It's not that it is a bad map now. But when you experienced it, when it was insane, when you would see 50 whitetail at one lake, as maybe OP and like unbalanced as that was, it's hard to go back now and see 13 whitetail at that lake and be like, eh, still good. Silveridge is awesome, Yukon is too. I love Yukon. The thing that sucks, I like to, you know, a lot of my videos I record in multiplayer for multiple reasons. I like the unknown factor. I think that's more fun when you have no idea what you're going to get into. And I personally think, to a degree, it helps show that, like, the videos aren't staged or whatever. Because what I could do, right, is I could grind in single player. Let's say for bobcats. I could grind in single player for a diamond bobcat until there is one on my map. And then I could say, we're going for a bobcat hunt today. And then I could kill a couple of 6s and a 7 and then, oh my goodness, a level 9, right? Like, that is a way I could do the videos. I think going to multiplayer, I can't know what's out there. So that kind of helps in being like, the reactions are real, the anticipation, the nervousness, all that is real. And there's no, you know, possibility of like, the main menu exploit any of that. The thing about... Oh, I kind of got off topic there. So I really like recording in multiplayer. The thing about Yukon in multiplayer, wolves don't go aggressive, they get stuck. They just stand there. And wolves are like 45% of the fun for me on Yukon. Shot 5 bears in 15 seconds? Nice. Reventuli is your personal favorite? I love Reventuli. Great map. I think if we can get ourselves that diamond bobcat, we will find more time to hunt Reventuli. Rancho was awesome, but when it came out... Hold on a minute. Rancho was awesome when it came out, but now it feels empty like Silveridge Peaks. I got you. Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I kind of agree there that Silveridge Peaks isn't necessarily empty. I get what you're saying. There's pockets on Silveridge Peaks. If you're in the right area, Silveridge Peaks is very much alive. But, yeah, since they changed it, it is just not as good as it used to be. And it's hard to, when you've experienced that, it's hard to be like, yeah, this is still good. Dream pack in the game, like in terms of weapons and stuff, I want a long range pack. So give me a spotting scope. I don't know, 16 times zoom. There's a 30x spotting scope in Classic, but 16 should be enough for Call of the Wild. Rifle scope that goes up to maybe 24 power zoom or 22, something like that, even 20. Little more zoom than the Argus. I don't think we need the absurdly thick outside of the scope either. I don't know that there needs to be that intentional disadvantage. Lesser field of view, but maybe they could find a different way to do that. Field of view is the right word. And then a rifle that I can 0 to 400 meters. And then I'd be happy. Tips on finding a diamond bighorn. Yeah, I haven't seen a diamond bighorn in a while. I believe they drink 12 to 1500. I would probably... You could go to Silver Ridge Peaks, you could go to Rancho. I'd probably hunt for one, honestly, on Rancho. Even though bobcats can spook them there, you got mountain lions to spook them on SRP. I would go to Rancho, whatever it is, 12 to 1500, their drink time. Just shoot every male, hope for respawns. Think I should get the new pack? The, what even is the new pack? Oh, the 44. I really love the 44 lever action. If that's a gun you think you'd like, it's worth it just for that. The takedown recurve and the e-collar, I can live without them just fine. They're fun to use, but I don't think they're as, like, impactful as the 44. Best place to get money, I would go to Tearoa. Even if you don't own that map DLC, you can play any map you don't own in multiplayer. Join a multiplayer server, go to Tearoa. There are red deer, fallow deer, wild hogs, or whatever they call them. What are they? Is wild hogs on Mississippi? What the heck are they called on? Is it feral pig? Yeah, on Tearoa. Lots of animals to hunt. Sika deer, chamois, goats. Need a big game weapon pack, 340, 375. Hey, I like the sound of that. I like the 8 to 9 weapon. I'm kind of amazed we don't already have one. I'd really like you said, a 375. I would be okay if they made a 340. Classes 8 to 9. Something for specifically classes 8 and 9. I just feel like that's something we should have. We can have nice things. Or Crocs on the beach of Emerald Coast. If you're beyond just having the 243, Crocs are a really good moneymaker, yeah. Missions are a good way to get cash. They are. So long as you can complete them in a relatively timely manner. I found when I first got started, I didn't understand a lot of things about the game. Like, you had to do some things to get quick kill, you had to do some things and get consecutive harvest. Like, that stuff has been taken out of the missions now. So, like, in my head, missions aren't great for money because I was faster just finding things and killing them than completing missions. I think at this stage, like, they've redone missions and stuff. In the early going, at least, missions could definitely be a fast moneymaker. I think it's easier to kill crocs or kangaroos. For a lot of money, crocs, because they'll probably charge you rather than run away. Longest vital hits, 434. It's not .00. Everybody's statistics will tell you .00, even though it, I don't know why, but it rounds. I think it was 434.7 or something. I remember making the shot. It's a springbuck on Berhunga, but I forget what the distance was. Congrats on the Diamond Widgeon. Thank you, man. Very much appreciate that. Just bobcats to go. Alright. Sadly, no such Great One Meese or even Diamond Meese today. Well, we killed another 30 or so in the last couple hours. Kind of maybe screwed up a max score Diamond Wild Boar. Is what it is. Favorite animal to hunt? It's actually wolves. I really like the wolf hunting in this game. But I do think that's going to do it for the stream. Like I said, prepping content for hunting out of state here later this week. So, gotta get back to that. Go get our Taco Bell, let my voice recover. Hello there. And we'll be right back into recording videos. But for now, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the support. And I will see you in tomorrow's video. I'll go into playing. That will be our first real life hunting video from 2023. Bye.